CLNS Patriots beat writer Evan Lazard joining us again. Boots on the ground, day 2 of Patriots and Eagles joint practices in South Philadelphia. Evan was there to take it all in with his own eyes. All right, Evan, day 2 here. What was different from day 1, and how did the Patriots look in their second straight day with full pads?
An extremely different day today, Maury, as the Patriots worked the low red zone for most of practice, both offensively and defensively. Heavy 7-on-7 practice, so no live pass rush or offensive linemen blocking a whole lot out there today. Bill Belichick tipped the hand. He said this morning in his Tuesday press conference that the Patriots and Eagles were going to work almost exclusively in the red zone. Yesterday, we were between the 20s, working 11-on-11s, run game, all that kind of stuff. Today, very heavy emphasis on the pass game, and both quarterbacks were pretty sharp out there. Mac Jones did throw an interception early on in practice, but bounced back to finish with 10 straight completions, and Cam was 13 of 15 overall. One of those was a drop by Christian Wilkerson, so really 13 of 14. So both quarterbacks look good today.
All right, so with the injuries now to the tight end room, which we all know, only one true tight end on the field for the Patriots in Devin Asiasi. How did the offense look different? Did it look different at all in the red zone? You figure the Patriots want to go 2 tight end sets a lot of the time when they're there on that part of the field.
We didn't see any because there wasn't enough tight ends to have 2 tight end sets. And I think the biggest thing that you see without Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith in these practices is not necessarily grading the practice in terms of performance, but we're missing out on very valuable time to build chemistry in the offense with those 2 guys as sort of the ringleaders of the passing attack. That's how this offense is designed, is to run through Henry and Smith. So without them in these very important joint practices, it's a lot of opportunity lost, it feels like, for the Patriots. And on the other side, Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz had huge practices today working close to the goal line. The Patriots didn't have many options at the tight end position to throw to. So this particular practice being a red zone heavy day, you specifically would have wanted to see Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith out there. As we know, the red area, the goal line, inside the 5, that's where tight ends love to play often, and they weren't out there. So a tough opportunity lost, I think, for today for the Patriots, not having their 2 tight ends out there.
All right, take me inside practice now. Give me the best play you saw from each of the quarterbacks, Mac Jones and Cam Newton, after what seems like what you're telling us, both quarterbacks had a much better day than day 1.
So there are only 3 passes thrown in 11-on-11 drills, but the second throw of practice by Mac Jones was an 11-on-11 dime to James White coming out of the backfield. He felt the pressure coming on the right side, on the right edge. He stepped up in the pocket, eluded the rush, got his eyes from the right side over to the left side of the field off his first progression, found James White winning on a corner route, and just dropped the dime over the top of the defense into James White's lap. A beautiful throw, one of those plays that you look at with Mac Jones and say, that's why they drafted him, right? That's what the player they thought they were getting in the first round. As for Cam, he hit Nelson Aguilar in the back of the end zone on a corner route. Really nice throw and catch by both Aguilar, great route. Cam, a great throw. So those were the 2 highlights for both quarterbacks today.
All right, as for one of the camp darlings, Christian Wilkerson, early in training camp impressed, but it seems like drops continue to plague him. It looks like he had another one today. I guess if he is not a camp darling anymore and might be on the outside looking in now, which under-the-radar Patriot do you think has a chance to make this roster that we weren't talking about maybe 10 to 14 days ago?
Christian Wilkerson's had a tough go of it, and that hype train has definitely stalled over the last couple of days. You see the ability still from Wilkerson to get open and create separation and demand targets in the offense, but then the finish of the play is really where it's come off the rails for him in the last couple of days. I think it's almost in his head at this point, right? Because you have the Thursday couple of drops in the preseason game, couple drops over the last few days, and now it seems like he's fighting the ball when it's in the air. So definitely a tough blow to a guy that I thought was making a really strong push to make the 53-man roster. And a player that's sort of a dark horse, I think, to make this team right now is Adrian Colbert, veteran safety. The Patriots have had some trouble. I mentioned Goedert and Ertz today had huge days for the Eagles. They were going off on the Patriots defense and their DBs. So Adrian Colbert seemed to have a little bit more success than Adrian Phillips and Kyle Duggar did. A player that has come in, really bought into the system, talks about how good a shape he's in because of the strength and conditioning staff here in New England being different than other places that he's been. So he's drinking the Kool-Aid, that's for sure, here in New England. So hopefully Adrian Colbert can be a guy that can continue to stack those good days together.
The Patriots have the day off on Wednesday before Thursday's second preseason game. It's a 7:30 kickoff and you can catch the game live on our air on the CW Providence. Evan Lazar from CLNS, always so generous with his time. We'll be right back here on the Sports Wrap.